Yo, what's up, world? It's OneDeep, MrShowDemBoys, Texas Rangers Entertainment. Today, man, I'm gonna do a video, man, on who brings the guns and the drugs to the hood. One thing we know for certain is the so-called black man and woman are suffering behind the guns and the drugs the most. But we definitely are not bringing these things into the hoods across the country, man. How are these guns and dope getting in our neighborhoods everywhere? Like everywhere we are, they are. Who's behind all of this? Seem like we more concerned about the NBA Finals, the NFL Super Bowl, the MLB Major League World Series. Any and everything other than what we're supposed to be worried about. We still believe the fake news, the television. We believe all these things, man. The same people that control the radio stations, the television, or the media, period, are the same group of people that's behind the dope and the guns. There's been several people reporting where government officials and police officers have been dropping off crates of guns in the hoods of Chicago and other cities around the so-called U.S. Hell, they know these Negroes are so crazy and out of their mind and such cowards and self-haters that they give them guns. They know that they're not going to use them on them. They're going to use them on each other, kill each other. That's how sick we are. I look upon the so-called black man and woman in so-called America as a sick man and woman. Anytime you're a prisoner of war and you turn the gun on the other prisoners, your own kind, instead of the enemy, that's sick, man. You through booking. When you kill yourself, we're a suicidal race, man. We won't kill anything but ourselves and each other. It's mental illness, man. The hate that hate produce. The hate runs so deep, man. So-called black men and women, man. The so-called black man and woman in America is a sick man and woman. Seem like all the movies that they making now about dope and guns, man. Like that's all black people do is sell dope and kill each other, man. Black people do a lot more other things than that, man. That's not all that black people do. Not all so-called black people out their damn mind, but I would say most of us are. The biggest damn ignoramuses in the black community are these oath takers and the ones that need validation from the Caucasian. The ones that help the Caucasian build up Babylon. Those are the ones that are turning their head on all the madness that's going on. After all this time, man, this been going on for decades, man. After all this time, man, we still had a nerve to be murderers of self, man. A suicidal race. We done turned into a suicidal race of people, man. When you kill your brother or sister, you killing yourself. Your own kind is your brother and sister. They lying to you about your DNA, so-called black man and woman. Like it's a dark cloud over our people's head. Like it's almost as if most of our people are responsible for the dark cloud being over our head. Like I said, these oath takers, man, they're helping the white supremacists. They are a part of white supremacy. They helping keep this dark cloud over our people's head, man. We're gonna have to go inside, man, and come together, man, and deal with these people, man. There's no way we can deal with the enemy until we deal with each other first. The miseducation of the so-called black male and woman, man, has cost us severely, man. Know not your history and know not where you going with this shit, man. Knowledge of self and knowledge of the universe are the best two things going, man. Schools are lying to us, the churches are lying to us, the TV, the radio, the so-called leaders. It's like a nightmare, man, that we're gonna have to wake up from. And it's a war that we're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to stop fighting ourselves, man. Quit being cowards, quit being scared, and face the problem head on with no fear. I wonder sometime, man, what side of the battlefield a lot of y'all on, man. It's time, man. It's been time for us to rise, for us to stop being scared, stop being cowards, to go inside and come together. It has to be individually before it can be collective. Somewhat. Anyway, man, I'm gonna attach a video of Neely Fuller Jr. speaking on guns and drugs in the so-called black community, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. This One Deep Mr. ShowDemBoys, Texas Rangers Entertainment. Y'all take care, man. Later.
Sure, because they set it up and they know what's going to happen. They know that people are going to get incensed and whatnot, and somebody, the way that they will put it is, oh, you took the law in your own hands. See what I mean? But they will make sure that the setting is such that no white people are involved. See, that's the key. You look around and say, who's involved in all this crack house and whatnot? And that, I got 16 people together from the neighborhood, and we went down there and said, we got to put this crack house out of business. And we wound up in a big shootout. I mean, you have a half-a-day shootout down there. I mean, so bodies all over the place. And no, now, that's just not the end of it. That would work fine out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, like in the days of what they call the frontier and the Wild West. I mean, you just have the OK Corral situation, and you just got dead bodies, and whoever came out on top won. Mm-hmm. And that would be the end of that. But the world is not run like that. All of a sudden, you haven't seen these white faces before, but you're going to see plenty of them now. You're going to see plenty of them now. They don't live nowhere around there. But all of a sudden, they're going to show up with guns and whatnot and say, what's going on here? Now, I got all these dead bodies around here. I mean, they're all black dead bodies. I mean, and you say you're straightening out the neighborhood? Wait a minute. What neighborhood? You say, my neighborhood. And they say, you don't own a neighborhood. I own neighborhoods, boy. I own all the neighborhoods all over the world. You don't have any say-so about anything. You say, but I'm protecting myself. You don't have any duty to protect yourself. I protect you. Say, yeah, but you didn't protect me and whatnot. Hey, I decide when you're going to get protected, okay? You're always dealing with me, boy. Get that in your thick skull. You're always dealing with me. You're not dealing with anybody else but me. Now, catch my drift? It's like the scene in, this has been done among white people, so they know about this. The scene in Godfather 1, when Michael Corleone showed up at the hospital and ran up and down the corridors and say, where are all the people supposed to be protecting my father? Mm-hmm. Where are the people supposed to be protecting my father? They know that people have made threats against him. Nobody's here, just a nurse. And so he stood outside, and the people who came to kill him, they saw that they might be going up against some vigilantism here, so they took off. But then, what happened? McCluskey shows up. Say, I thought I had all you guinea hoods locked up. And what are you doing around this hospital? Get out of here. And then he broke his jaw. Mm-hmm. And he said, I came to protect my father. Well, you're a law enforcement officer. Why aren't you protecting my father? He said, look, don't tell me my business. See, so in the world of white supremacy, they understand that principle very well. So the white supremacists will plant a crack house in a neighborhood that they intend to cause black people to move again. See, one of the major strategies of the white supremacists on this planet is, like you learn in Shane, keep them squatters moving. Don't ever let them have a stable neighborhood anywhere. Put a crack house in that neighborhood. Allow that crack house to flourish so that everybody will panic when they have no protection and run. And then we take over the whole neighborhood and gentrify it again. And then when they go wherever they're going to the next neighborhood, after 10 years, we start the same thing all over again. Keep them squatters moving. That's the strategy. It's evil. And it's all them. It's nobody but them. You have to rid this entire planet of the system of white supremacy. But you can start simply by pointing out that's where the problem is. The problem isn't with the drug dealers and all like that. They're no problem. They can swat them like a fly. The white supremacists know that. They're the ones who give them the drugs. They're the ones who haul it in here. Black people don't know anything about manufacturing anything. All they know is somebody gives them something and say you can make some money, and you can show off, and you can buy some cars and run them down the street showing off to your friends, which is the black mentality. They know us better than we know ourselves. That's why they can manipulate us to do anything, mostly destructive, almost always destructive, bottom line destructive. That's all black people are supposed to be ever doing on their own is something destructive. And the white supremacists are behind it all. And call it that. That's the first step. If you want to do something about it, call it what it is. System of white supremacy.
But that doesn't
They'll
stop
say,
it.
oh, you're talking about the Ku Klux Klan. No, I'm not talking about any Ku Klux Klan. I'm talking about the entire system of government. Put the label on it that you should have. The system of white supremacy is the name of the only government on the planet. They are to blame for everything that non-white people are doing that shouldn't be done because they are the only people that control or tell or educate the non-white people of this planet. Let's tell the truth about it. Now, I'm either telling the truth or I'm saying something false. If you go to school, they tell you what's going to be in the books. Is my book in the school?
No.
No. Because it tells you about how the white supremacists operate. That's why. They're not supposed to talk about that. We're not supposed to be talking about what I'm doing right now. So the question might be raised, why do the white supremacists allow me to talk like I'm talking? They are very intelligent. What they do is say, who's listening? So when they see that nobody's listening, nobody's using the term white supremacy, system of white supremacy, it's all the fault of the white supremacists, since nobody's saying that in one voice, in a loud voice, where it bounces off the walls everywhere, in every place, in every office, in every factory. The system of white supremacy is what's in place, the only government in the world. Nobody's saying that, but maybe Neely Fuller and a few other oddballs. So as long as nobody's paying attention, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, because they're not even identifying the source of the problem. They're saying, well, this committee this, or this gang this, or it's the Crips and the Bloods, and and so if we can just get rid of them, the world will be a better place. No, they only exist on account of the system of white supremacy manufactures a system where it does exist. They know exactly what they're doing. Manufactures the drugs and the 9mm that show up with the drugs.
So all this.
We didn't have the 9mm all over the neighborhood and the assault rifles and whatnot until the drugs showed up. And the drugs showed up with the guns. We started off with this program talking about guns.
Mm-hmm.
The drugs and the guns showed up among black people, put in black people's hands after when in the Northwestern Hemisphere? After the 1968 riots. That's when. They say that we don't, if black people are going to be out here with guns and whatnot in the street and tearing up things, we're going to control the guns that we give them by controlling their minds. And we'll use the drugs to control their minds, and the drugs will automatically lead them to slaughter each other. It'll also disrupt neighborhoods. It'll disrupt the schools. It'll disrupt everything that they try to do. And we'll sit back over on the other side of the fence and laugh about the whole mess, because they haven't figured out yet who's pulling the strings. If we can find out, of course, that's the first thing we do. We ask them to find out who the people are who are doing it. And if they say they can't find out, then we simply say, I have no reason to believe you. Because these are the people that live next door to you. These are the people who play golf with you. What do you mean you can't find out? The people who run the world, and you are sitting at the table with them, and you don't know anything about them, and they are allowing this to happen, a crack house on my corner, and you are telling me I can't do anything about it because I'd be violating the law if I do, that the drug dealers can stand their ground, and I can stand my ground if I can find out where my ground is. But I don't have any ground. I certainly don't have any grounds to go down there and do anything about it, because then you will lock me up faster than you'll lock them up.
Now,
Tell
Mr.
the truth, sir.